Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm sharing with you Adelina's 1-year update. She is 1 day away from being 1 year old as I'm filming this, but by the time I post it, she will have turned 1. And she has developed like crazy the last few months. So I'm just going to be sharing some of her milestones, some of the things that we've been doing to kind of help her learn different words and commands and things like that. What we're doing for her diet and just everything that you do as a mom. So anyway, she is currently crawling in front of me. Addie, you want to get on camera? Come on. Say hi to the camera. Can you wave? Can you wave? Don't feel like waving? So Adelina's birthday is January 10th, 2017. I delivered her by cesarean, and I actually have a very long labor, even though I didn't actually labor, so a very long delivery story. And I will have that linked in the cards and down in the description box if you want to hear about our story. There was definitely some complications, and I was actually yesterday journaling and processing through kind of my fears of having another child, the risks because I have like blood platelet issues, and yeah, there's just a lot of stuff that I was just processing through. Anyways, all that to say, if you're interested in watching that video, go ahead and click on that after you're done watching this. And I will say it is a very long video, and it's definitely not the best quality, so be aware of that. I've definitely stepped up, I think, my video quality game in the last few months. Alright, so the first thing is Adelina started to take her first steps this past weekend. I cannot believe it. So she's kind of in that transition between crawling and walking. She definitely prefers crawling at this point just because she's faster at it. But there have been times where she's just kind of stood up and started to walk, and it's been very shocking and in the best way, like very exciting, very amazing to see her develop and grow. The other thing is she's obsessed with our phones, unfortunately. It's probably not a very good habit. I really try to curb her of it. I really try to communicate that phone is mommy's toy, not baby's. I think she's just very interested because we FaceTime a lot with our phone. We play music and dance with it. We watch videos sometimes. She will watch videos with me on YouTube if she's in the mood. If you guys hear some loud thudding, it's because she has this habit that she's been doing since she was, I think, could sit up, and that is to pull all the DVDs and books from our bookshelf. So for as long as I can remember, she's been doing that. She takes the books out of the shelf. When she was little, she started on the first shelf, and now that she's getting bigger and can stand and walk, she pulls everything off the second shelf exclusively. The next thing that we have been doing, and this is really to kind of help introduce Adelina to reading, to learning different commands, and to understanding us. What we have been doing is this DVD called Your Baby Can Read. We have actually seen a profound difference in her understanding of different things, different objects like animals and actions like putting your arms up. So she's actually learned a lot from this DVD. And basically how this works is you watch the first DVD for about a month every single day. So by the end of it, Josiah and I are going to have it memorized. And then once you're done with that month, you just move on to the next DVD. So it's an entire series. I believe there are coordinating books that go with it, but I haven't actually looked into that. We just usually have her watch the DVD. The next thing that this girl absolutely loves is being outside. She will fuss and fuss and fuss until she's allowed to go outside. Now, the last few days we have had a torrential downpour here in LA, which is so unusual. We usually have really sunny skies and great weather or very hot weather, and we have missed the rain, to be sure. So we haven't actually taken her, I have not actually taken her outside today, so I'm like waiting for the moment where she gets really fussy and starts to point to the door, and that's just, you know, a clear indicator to us, obviously, that she does not want to be indoors anymore. She's bored, she needs to be outside, and she just loves sitting in her stroller, going for walks. She loves going to the park and just playing around outside. So she's just like a true kid, you know. You love being outside and you love the phone. Oh, she just started to point outside. Are you pointing outside? Yeah. I think it's because I said the word outside and now she's like, we're gonna go. So Adelina got 2 front teeth for Christmas, just like the song. She had her 2 bottom teeth already, but the 2 top teeth came in, and so there was definitely a few weeks where she was very fussy and it was a little overwhelming, and it's just how babies are because they're developing and growing, and I'm sure they have lots of little aches and pains as they develop and grow. We are still cloth diapering. I cannot believe we've lasted almost a year. We basically started cloth diapering, I'd say maybe 3 months into having her. I think the first 2 months because she was like our first baby, and we were just very overwhelmed with the transition of having this new life in our home, and I was recovering from the C-section. The thought of like having to do laundry was like, and specifically cloth diapering laundry was like so intimidating. I didn't know where to start. So I don't think we cloth diapered for the first like month, and then I think by the second month we started to introduce cloth diapering, and then just slowly transitioned even our night diapers into cloth diapering, and now we are exclusively cloth diapering, and I'm like so proud of us because it took a little courage to get here, and she's still doing great with them. So at this point, we have begun to introduce her more to meats and like animal products in her food. So she loves things like turkey and chicken particularly. I haven't really given her any ground beef or ground turkey yet, but I will probably soon. The interesting thing is that I think Addie actually has an egg allergy. Every time in the beginning when I was breastfeeding and eating eggs, she would break out in these terrible rashes. And yeah. And so I basically went off eggs for the longest time, and all the rashes cleared up on her. So then I began to reintroduce eggs just recently, and she's not had any reaction or rashes to when I eat eggs. However, I have been breaking out in these terrible like eczema, dermatitis patches on my elbows and knees, and I do believe it's from eggs. And I cannot believe it. Like, I've never had an egg issue before, and I don't know if it's because I allowed my body to like detox from them for months. That, honey, always the phone. We're gonna put that away. That I allowed myself to finally detox from eggs. I've eaten them my whole life. Then now I'm having these terrible reactions. And Adelina does not get any rashes now after nursing. But if she does eat eggs or even touch eggs, we've had that issue where she stuck her hand in some batter I was making. She will break out in like a full-blown rash on her face. Everything else she's been fine with. She's not shown any issues with like gluten or any of like the more common allergens that we have so far introduced her to. So deep breath. It's just a lot to take in. I'm a little shocked that I have this egg allergy potentially. I'm gonna probably get allergy tested soon because I feel like after I delivered her, I developed some weird, like some true allergies, especially to gluten and egg now. And I'm already off soy and dairy, so it's like, it's just hard. We're back. So I had to take a brief break. We've been away from the camera for about an hour and a half. So we've had lunch. Addie had a change of clothes just because she got kind of dirty being outside. We went outside in the rain. I didn't actually let her get in the rain, just kind of, we have these little awnings, so it kind of blocks the rainfall, but she was able to still walk around and just be out. We're still in that one-bedroom apartment, which makes sleep training a bit difficult, and it is by no means perfect. She definitely still wakes up throughout the night, but what we have been doing is cry it out. It took me a long time to really warm up to the idea of having her cry it out because I honestly felt terrible and I did not want to listen to her just cry herself to sleep. But we decided to do it. We basically had her cry it out, and it definitely took some time. She still will at times cry herself to sleep, which is always hard for me, and I always just kind of sit in the living room like, I hate this. However, I think it has actually done some good, because usually when she falls asleep, she nurses herself to sleep, or I always try to put her in the crib while she's like kind of dozing. But in the last week, there have been 2 instances where she's nursing, but she's wide awake, and she is just uncomfortable. You can tell, like, she keeps kind of just twisting and turning and moving, and she's still nursing this whole time, but she's just kind of thrashing about like she just can't get comfortable. And the first time I was nursing her and nursing her and nursing her, and she still was not going to sleep. And so I thought, you know, I've been nursing her like for a very long time. It's just time for me to lay her in a crib and let her cry it out. I laid her in the crib. I laid her in the crib fully awake, and she went right to sleep with 0 crying. I could not believe it. She's never done that before in her entire life. And it was like one of the most amazing things I've ever experienced, because sleeping, and just her sleep particularly, has been very difficult for us, and, or I should say, lack of sleep. So yeah, that's been really hard, but it was just so amazing to see her put herself to sleep without fussing at all. And I mean, obviously that's very rare, but it has happened twice now. So actually, I think it was last night. So that's kind of where Adelina is at. We are just so amazed and cannot believe it's been a year. She's been with us 1 year. It just like is amazing. I can't believe I've been a parent for a year now. But yeah, we just love her so much, and she's just our little light, our little joy. She's also our biggest teacher. She teaches us everything from how to parent better, how to communicate better, and how to have better patience, how to be more gentle and kind and all of that. So she's our miracle and gift, and we are just very, very, very lucky to have her. So anyways, that is it for the 1 year update. I'm sorry I keep looking over to the right, but I'm just staring lovingly at my daughter as she plays, and I'm sure you can hear her in the background. I hope the audio isn't too like terrible in this, but I'll try to work with it in editing. Thank you so much for watching, guys. And with all that said, I will catch you next week. What am I doing next week? I think I'm doing some like zero waste type video. I'm pretty sure that's what I have on my schedule. I'll need to check, but yeah, so if you're into zero waste, catch me next week, and if you're not, catch me next week anyways.